Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle something that can feel, well, a little chaotic: marketing. We're going to build a super simple but really powerful framework to help you guide all of your efforts and make sense of it all.
You know the feeling, right? If you're running a business, you've got SEO over here, social media over there, someone's talking about paid ads, someone else about email. It's just this constant flood of options, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed and just wonder, is any of this actually working?
But what if we could change that? What if we could take all that random chaos and turn it into something that works together? That's the goal here today. We're going to give you a way to think about marketing that turns all that noise into a coordinated, effective, well, let's call it a marketing symphony. Okay, let's get into it. To really make this stick, we're going to use one big central idea, a metaphor that makes everything fall into place. I want you to start thinking of all your marketing as if you're building a band.
And this is where it all starts to click. Just think about it this way. Your traffic channels, how you get people to notice you, those are your band's instruments. The content you make, the stuff people see and read, that's your sheet music. And all the techie stuff in the background, the systems that make it all work together, yep, those are your amps and cables. Pretty simple, right? Let's break each one down.
So, first up, the instruments. You can't have a band without instruments to make some sound and get a crowd to show up. In the marketing world, your instruments are just the channels you use to generate that traffic and bring people to your door.
And here are the main ones. You've got SEO, paid ads, social media, email, and partnerships. Now look, a great rock band doesn't need a cello and a triangle to be awesome, right? Same thing here. You do not need to master all of these at once. The whole key is to pick the instruments that your specific audience actually wants to listen to. So maybe you find your crowd on LinkedIn, or maybe your brand is meant to be a rock star on Instagram. Okay, so let's keep building this out. Because having the coolest guitar in the world means nothing if you don't know any songs to play. And that's exactly where your content, your sheet music, comes into the picture. This is the stuff you create to actually engage the audience you've gathered.
This content is basically your band's set list for the night. You've got your short, punchy hits. Those are like your social posts. Then you've got your longer, deeper tracks, like a great video or a detailed blog post. And of course, you have your special releases, like a downloadable guide or a case study, that turn those casual listeners into your biggest, most loyal fans.
So now you've got your instruments and your sheet music. You can play a pretty good tune in your garage, but if you want to fill a stadium, you're going to need some serious amplification. In marketing, that amplification is your technology. It's your sound system.
Think of this as the awesome roadie crew that makes the whole concert happen. We're talking about things like retargeting, so your ads follow people who've already checked you out. Or email automations, which send the perfect follow-up message at just the right time. Your CRM, that's what keeps track of all your fans. These are the amps, the cables, the mixing boards that make sure your message is heard loud and clear.
Now this right here is a really critical point. You could have a warehouse full of the best gear in the world, the fanciest guitars, the best amps, volumes of sheet music. But if you just walk on stage and start making random sounds, well, that's not a concert. It's just more noise. And that brings us to the absolute most important piece of this whole framework, the strategy. This is the brain behind the whole operation. Strategy is what decides which venue you play, what songs you're going to perform, and most importantly, who you're playing for in the first place. Seriously, before you even think about picking up an instrument, before you write a single note of a song, you have to know who your audience is. Are you playing for a quiet, intimate jazz club, or are you playing for a massive, roaring rock stadium? Defining your ideal customer is, without a doubt, the #1 strategic decision you have to make. And the good news is, we can boil this big idea of strategy down into 2 really clear actions. First, like we said, define who you are playing for. Get absolutely crystal clear on that person. And second, do a monthly review. Just check in. Look at the data. Are people dancing? Are they singing along? This little review tells you which of your songs are total hits and maybe which ones need to get cut from the set list. So as we start to wrap things up here, I really want you to let go of this idea that you have to be doing everything all the time. The goal of truly great marketing isn't to own every single instrument and play every genre of music.
No, the goal is to find the 2 or 3 instruments that your specific audience absolutely adores, write incredible songs just for them, and then play those songs over and over with passion and consistency. That is how you stop making noise and start making music.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. Thinking about your ideal customer, your perfect audience, what is the single most important piece of content, the very first song that your band needs to learn right now to get their attention? Figure that out, and you are well on your way.